Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kyle here with another Guardian Tales video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing an account review for my account here on Guardian Tales. I figured I'd run through all of the different content that I do and just my thought process on who I farm, what I like to do, my experiences with this game currently. And before I get into this, I do want to say a big shout out. We just hit 8K subscribers. That's awesome. That's a pretty cool milestone here for the channel. So I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for supporting the channel and being so positive down in the comments below. Like, by far one of the best communities. Also, I've heard comments talking about just how cool the Discord is. We are almost at 600 members in the Discord, which is just crazy to me. It's really been popping off, so be sure to join the Discord if you're interested in a really awesome Guardian Tales community. So with that out of the way, let's actually get into the video here. Currently not on LD player right now. I'm on my phone. I'm using air server to mirror this. The last few characters I farmed were Lilith and Mayriel, and then currently I'm farming MK99, and I think all these characters are amazing. Lilith has actually been really good in arena. She's amazing in raiding for me. I think if I'm looking in Camazone or Orbital Lift, if I'm looking for, sometimes it's like a DPS race and you need to do a specific type of damage, I think she could really help out in that sense if I'm looking for melee damage specifically, because she just does a crazy amount. So, but at the moment, I'm mainly using her in arena, and I always run a dark team for raiding, and she's been awesome there. So I'm really happy with scooping her up. Mayriel is another character I use in arena a lot. And sometimes I'll throw her in, depending on the comp, in Camazone, like harder versions of Camazone. Sometimes I've tried out a few comps in Colosseum, but I really think MK99 is way better at those game modes. Just the longer range, more damage. She really synergizes well with Gabriel here. So that's why I've been liking her, and that's why I'm leveling up her. Using her in Camazone has been amazing. I think she's absolutely incredible in that game mode. Just anything like that, like talking Colosseum, talking Camazone, all those things, I think she's awesome. She's also awesome in PvP. I don't really use her too much. I haven't really had a map, and also arena's been tough for me to play because so many days I'm working, and I don't want to sit here on my phone doing that and then having to quit out of games and stuff. So it's really tough to actually get those in unless it's a day off. So that's why I haven't done. That's why I barely squeak into master tier, and I've done a few like videos. I don't think I posted them, but done a few videos on master tier, but that's why like arena content has been lacking on this channel. So kind of a bummer there, but hopefully I could step that up or figure out something to where we could get more arena content out. But that's kind of the state of arena for me. Another character, this is probably the character I've been most excited about, is Gabriel here. She's just amazing in so many different game modes. She's a staple in a lot of raid teams. She's good in Colosseum. She's good in arena. She's literally just good everywhere, in my opinion. So I've been a big fan of her, and she helps synergize with MK99, makes her better. It's just such a good character. She does a surprisingly high amount of damage, in my opinion, and I think that's awesome. She could be used as a lead. She could be used as a support character. So been super stoked with Gabriel. I was kind of on the fence about leveling her, but leveled her up a while ago, and ever since she's been a staple in all of my teams. From a rating perspective, here's the 3 teams I'm running for a rating right now. We got the dark team here, we got the water team, and lastly we got this team, the basic team for what was it, Sandy. And ideally this would be Lucy right here, and I kind of want to farm Lucy after I farm MK99. That's just so far into the future because I'm mostly just getting started with farming her. I have enough to level her up to 4-star, to give you an idea. So I still have like 800 more shards to go, so it's going to be a while. But I do like Lucy, especially from a rating perspective, and I've been seeing her actually played well in PvP. When I play her in my video, I did not play her well. Also, I think she kind of synergizes more with, you really got to build your comp around her better than I did too. But I think she's really good. She has a lot of potential. One thing I really liked about her from a ranged character perspective is, going in the book here, if you look at her base stats, I really like how she has 248 base defense. And for a ranged character like that does good damage, has good typing, if you compare it to other characters in that same niche, like Nari, for example, significantly less base defense there at 136. And then you got other people. Let's just go Bari, 196, a little better, but she's not really played too much. Bianca, she's kind of in the same range, you know, way less, 161 base defense. So I really like Lucy's base defense for a character like this. So she's a lot tankier than typical characters of that same vein there. And a lot of them, the typical tanks you can run are Agma, Noxia, or Future Princess. And I would say for the most part, these mage characters, you're going to want to run Noxia, because not only is she a range character, but she's giving the HP benefit, and they have such low base defense. Running her is kind of a no-brainer. But if she's banned in, you know, master tier, there's really no good options. Whereas with Lucy, you could actually get away with running Agma, and she's gonna really take advantage of that defense, in my opinion, versus the other ones probably not so much, because they have such low base defense. Yes, he does help out with the disparity there, but because of his passive. But at the same time, I think that base defense actually really matters if you're gonna be running Agma here, or you're kind of stuck running him. A couple of the reasons why I like her as a character. Just kind of running through the different game modes here. Arena nowadays, I've been mainly using Lilith, Future Princess, and May Real as kind of my combo. A big thing that I've been liking is I always try to structure my team comps in a particular way. So I like to always have a tank. So I always like to have, so here, let's go here. And I always like to have one of these three characters. I always like to have one of these three characters on my team. I feel like these are absolutely necessary to really have success in arena. You really want to have that extra stat, the party buff of the HP, defense, or you know, HP again. In one of these three here, I think you're going to be absolutely paper if you go into arena without having one of these three guys here. And then basing on which ones I'm running, I like to kind of have synergy with these guys. So if I'm running a range team, I'm going to want to run Noxia. If I'm running a melee team, I'm probably going to want to run Future Princess, to give you an example. And then also it depends on the map too. If the map's really small, I'm going to probably want to run Future Princess versus Noxia, even in a situation where, you know, I'm just going to prioritize her in that, on that kind of map. And then also too, since I don't have Noxia up, I have to training room her if I'm going to be running her. That's another reason why I want MK99, is because it's kind of pointless to be running Noxia without good range characters. And I do have good range characters, but MK99 is like the best. So if I have to sacrifice her to make Noxia work, then it kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion. So that's one of the reasons why I want to have MK99 and Lucy available. So if I'm going to be running a range character, I can actually take advantage of those, the full ranged style team there. And then same with Agma, I want to be making sure that he's paired with characters that have good defense to actually take advantage of the party buff there. Even though he does help with the disparity, I really notice a difference in these kind of tankier teams when you actually better experience with Noxia over Agma in a lot of scenarios. And I think it's due to, not only is Noxia just a better character, but I think it has to do with the stats where getting HP is significantly better than defense most of the time, because of how arena works with the multiplying of HP, where it's a multiplied defense. So it's kind of another thing too. So I always want to have one of these characters on the team. Then I always like to split it from there. I always like to have, if I'm going ranged, like, so always putting a character on here that has either 50% melee defense or 50% melee attack or 50% ranged attack. And then to round out the team, I like to have crit a percentage. So for just to kind of visualize this, it's like I would want my team to have always just one of these kind of melee characters on it. You know, Eugene would fit, but I don't really like using her. You know, something like this. And then Sohi's actually good too. I haven't really got to try her too much, but something like this would be one of the main ways I like to start my team. This is how I've been building teams now, is like, okay, if I'm going to have the 50% melee, then I want my tank to support it. So with these guys, I would be running either Agma or Future Princess. And then lastly, I like to have the crit rating. Instead of doing 100% melee, I like to have 50% melee, 20 or the 36% crit. I think that's way better. I've tried the 100% melee, and then I've faced mirror matches or kind of like pseudo mirror matches, and the crit makes such a difference versus just another 50% melee, in my opinion. It's just so much better. Like the person, like I have like a maxed Future Princess, and I went Lilith, Future Princess, Beth, and then he was Lilith, Future Princess, May Real. And when we went Future Princess versus Future Princess at full HP, he just smoked my Future Princess. And I've noticed ever since I went with crit on the back end, or doesn't matter the order, but having both the 50% melee and then the crit, you do so much more damage, so much more. So that's why I like doing that. And then there's characters you could pick for crit. Then there's characters you could pick for, you know, like the ranged, you know, so you got her, you got MK99, and then there's also other comps you can run. You can run like Noxia, Future Princess, and like more of a tanky team, something like that. But I don't really run it too much. It's kind of, that's been my rule of thumb for Arena here. And then for Colosseum, I haven't been, you know, playing it too much, but this has just been the main team I've been running here. It's been solid. It gets me master. I don't really push for top 100. Maybe I should, but you know, back when I was like really playing it, I would push up for top 100 in both of these guys, but it's been tough trying to find the time, especially in Arena. But this has pretty much been my main team I've been running. I haven't really felt the need to actually change it up. I just think these characters are just so good at the moment. Ideally, I would be able to fit into Bianca, but I have other characters I'm going to want to farm, so it's going to be really tough to fit in Bianca and actually like optimize this for the best Colosseum team. And for most people, I don't think you really need the absolute best Colosseum team to be viable. And also, I don't even have what is it, Noxia leveled up, ready to go. So that's another reason why it's not really that optimal for a team at the moment. But that's kind of how I've been treating Colosseum. Just get master tier. The diminishing returns you get, like the main thing I care about are the battle medals and just the amount of gems you get when you're, you know, like look at the difference between top 100 and master tier. It's 100 gems. So once I squeak into master tier, I'm totally fine with that. And then if there's a character that just absolutely shakes up the meta, then I'll probably go for them and actually make it a priority. But at the moment, it's just Future Princess. You can go triple DPS, or you can go double DPS and another tank if you want to. But since I really like going DPS because they last a lot longer and they're really useful for raiding, and you need 3 teams for raiding. So that's why I always prioritize DPS characters for that. And then orbital lift, we're right here. I've just been, this is such a hard one. I've seen people do it, but it takes like a perfect Ogma, perfect RNG. If you want to check out a person that's done this, I've watched Harmonia do this. He's another YouTuber. You should check him out if you want to see like really good PvP content. But he also cleared this stage before we hit level 80. So I thought that was pretty impressive, but probably took a billion attempts. So I'm just chilling. I'll eventually hit that up and push up to, you know, these rankings up here. Like people are really pushing high. So maybe it's time to actually start hitting this up again, especially with the level up. I'll probably have to put Ogma in the training room and give that a shot. But people have gotten significantly higher. It used to be everyone was stuck at 599, and then they did the level cap increase, and then now people are up to, you know, this guy 669. So that's crazy. So probably for someone like me, I can probably push to like 599, depending on how much I actually want to attempt it. Maybe I'll do something like that on stream or something. But that would be kind of nice, get some rewards there, but I'm not stressing it too hard. And then Camazone, nothing too crazy there. I've just been kind of, I really like this one here. I just started running through this. I need to push through and actually collect all the rewards for this round. I still have a day left, but I really like I don't have it, but I like the artifacts for this one where they're giving 50% damage to bosses, and then they're doing the reduced defense on like everyone. I think it's a really good, I just really like the artifacts for this Camazone. It's fun. So I'll definitely have a video coming out here soon about Camazone, but I've been really enjoying this version of it. Whereas I feel like the other ones kind of cater you to either do the Noxia cheese that they nerfed heavily, or it's like all tank, and then you gain attack from tanking. It's kind of boring. So I want to, but it probably makes it easy to actually like, you know, finish it out, getting doubled out. Whereas in this one, I think it's just pure raw damage. And I think that's kind of fun. So, and then lastly, I guess for the rating, I think this raid ain't too bad. It seems like for the most part. Sandy being the hardest boss, and then the basic team actually does really well against this boss. So I've been usually it's like Harvester, and Harvester's such a pain. He's gotten better now, but at the same time, like it's so frustrating compared to the reason why it's frustrating is because he's so hard to predict versus these other characters are pretty consistent. Like I don't care how hard the encounter is, as long as it's repeatable, then I'm totally fine with it, because you only got one attempt. You know, technically you have two one time if you like want to back out, but if you just get like one shot or something like that, you can't back out of that. So that's why these bosses, based on the design of the attempts, I really think that they need to not have any RNG. Like for example, Harvester below 50%, I think he's totally fine, because he's like actually predictable and you can like make a plan there. Whereas as he is now 50% above, every single encounter is always different, and I don't like that in a system where you only have one attempt to apply your damage. That's kind of what's going on here. All these other bosses are relatively straightforward. So again, the teams I'm running for this are Dark Team, running Dark Team right here for the Slime King, then running the Water Team here for Goblin Chief, and then running this basic team for Sand Monster. So, and then ideally I'll have Lucy here. If I was able to finish out MK99 in time, which I won't, then I would totally replace Grimory with Lucy. Try to maximize the damage for this guy. But that's pretty much it when it comes to my account here. I just figured I would check in with you guys on what I'm going to be doing. Also, lastly, I guess the new character is going to be Yuze. I've heard good things. People are talking about how good she is at the moment. I haven't really checked her out yet. I kind of like to wait a bit and see people try her out and see where people like are actually still using her, besides just the novelty of a new character and just making content. So I'm gonna wait for that. Plus we have a whole another week here until we're gonna get it, so we have plenty of time to evaluate Yuze and just see exactly how good she is. So I'm just gonna hold off for that. But this is what I'm doing currently here in Guardian Tales. Let me know in the comments below if you like stuff like this, and I'll do more of these regularly. But with that, guys, I'm out. Peace.